All right. Right now, the time on deck is 5:04 a.m. It is December 11, 2017. We are going to first touch on, real quickly, the circumcision of Abraham. And it should be noted um, that sterility or infertility within the characters of the women who are mentioned throughout the text of the so-called Hebrew Bible are, I'm not saying it's a common theme, but it happens enough throughout that you understand that um, fertility issues are some of the issues that some of these women have. Not uncommon today. Um, I could compare that to the diet of the people, but I won't get into that right now. I won't get carried away with how I know for a fact that sperm cells can be good or evil for a fact. I won't get carried away with, yeah, so within your body, you carry good and evil, right, as the man. So you produce the final genetic that makes it a boy or a girl. But then within that genetic, you also produce good or bad people from your genetics and from the woman, obviously. But however, we won't even get carried away with that. We'll go with what I wanted to go with. Uh, we're in chapter. One moment. So we're going to be in chapter 21, I want to say. Right? No, I lie. We're going to go to chapter 19, I want to say. Give me one moment. And I don't want to get too into the Sodom and Gomorrah thing, so no, one more chapter back. 82. Where's it at? Okay, here we go. 17. Excuse me. And we're just going to skip to the part where Abraham circumcises himself, right? And we're going to get to where he's finally done. Oh, here we go. Bam. Verse 26 of chapter, okay, yeah. Of chapter 17, coming into 18. And Abram, or Abraham, as you people like to call him Abraham, Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ismael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And at the period of that day, Abraham was circumcised, and Ismael his son, and all the men of his house, both those born in the house and those bought with money of foreign nations. Let's go ahead and stop right there. I've stressed this before in other videos on how I was pretty sure on how other people stayed circumcised and got circumcised. Like, Abraham's a giant killer. I already covered that. I'm not sure if you really followed it when I went and I talked about how he smacked down these kings for his nephew, right? Didn't do nothing when his brother got killed, but went and saved his nephew. So who knows how that really worked out. Um, Furthermore, with this man Abraham, he's 99. He's almost 100 years old when he gets circumcised. Okay, he has a son before his circumcision. Okay, now to speak fairness of the situation, um, Hagar, the Egyptian, right? She is not of the same bloodline that Sarah is of, and we don't know what kind of Egyptian she actually is. See, people throw these things around, right? I've stressed this actually almost since the beginning, since I've been able to like have pictures and show it, is that they're not the same. The Egyptian people that you see and that you're told that they're all not the same people, because even those people are a mixed in people. You see. Now, before once again, because I'm not trying to convolute the scripture or put nothing on it. This is what it says. And those bought with money of foreign nations. So they're foreign. So that means that they're nations that nobody knows about. They're nations that are outside of the normal nations that you deal with. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what that means. Anyhow, check this out. The whole point of this is to go back into stress. Noah's sons were triplets. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I need to hit up the fact that circumcision is why Abraham was able to get right. I already looked it up, right? And dang on, 1 second. Circumcision. Oops. Fertility. There we go. Bam. Scientists have recently concluded that circumcision can help with infertility in males suffering from two very specific diseases. The first, phimosis, one moment, where the male is unable to retract the foreskin. Uh, it wouldn't let me connect to the thing, and then let me go ahead and go back to Google again because it just tried to give me an error. See what I'm talking about? And where the first is phimosis, is when the male is unable to retract the foreskin. So pretty much being like when he ejaculates, there's not enough semen that gets out. She's already not able to get pregnant, so there's nothing there. You see what I'm talking about? Whereas with the Egyptian girl, she's healthy, she can get pregnant. So the little bit of semen that does escape from his penis or whatever, she can still get pregnant. It doesn't stop nothing. So, hold on a second. 1 second. Can phimosis lead to infertility? It does not affect your semen or testicles. Assuming that you are a healthy man without any health problems, your semen would still be normal and can still be used to produce a child. Thank you very much. Because phimosis doesn't allow your foreskin to retract, it may be uncomfortable if you have sexual intercourse. Man, you guys better leave me alone. Look, man. Look, I'm not out here making this up. I don't have to make it up. It's right here. Okay? It's right here. I've been trying to tell you all for the longest. Your boy, I've been holding a torch for a lot of this stuff to the light to this stuff for a long time. Like, look at it. That's what it says. And people throwing egg on me, right? It's okay. It's okay though, because retract this in your mind before anybody tries to say anything else, because it doesn't matter what you say. I've already got the work. I've already got the research done for Lilith. It's not proof, but more support that she's the serpent. Don't worry, I'm about to dust it all off. Keep doing my little Charleston two-step. See, I'm not chasing it down. I understand the importance and the need to produce these works, but I also understand the people that are also watching, the other people, you know, the ones that want to use this for means and intentions that aren't good. You can't give your enemies the ability to defeat you. So, and Noah was 500 years old and begot three sons, Sem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, one moment, let's stop. Let's just go back to chapter 5, right? And we're going to go to when it says, verse 3. And Adam lived 230 years and begat a son after his own form and after his own image, and called his name Seth. One moment, and we're going to jump back again, right? And we're going to go to verse 1 of chapter 4. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and brought forth Cain, and said, I have gained a man through God. So this is one instance, bam, okay. And so this is also, and she again bore his brother Abel. So this is Abel came after. One moment. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a killer of the ground. So there's no comma after the word bore, meaning that she gave birth, right? So when you're reading this, my reading is that Cain and Abel were born on two different occasions. But even if you wanted to be, I don't know, perceptually open, and you wanted to say that Cain and Abel were born on the same day, it still indicated who was born first and who was born second, which would have been Cain. But that's not how it reads to me in my mind. It reads that Cain was born first, then Adam and Eve had sex again, and then, obviously, she had Abel. But it speaks right here, though, of the young man Abel as being a keeper of the sheep. But, there's a comma there, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So there's the distinction between the lifestyles that they live. You see? Now, people can say whatever, but he brought a sheep as a blood sacrifice. That was a blood sacrifice, y'all. And Cain brought vegetables, and he just didn't bring, I think, what were properly ripe, and then the right amount of them. And even still, he was blessed over his brother. Why he killed his brother is beyond me. Jealousy, anger, people try to claim the seed of the serpent, but that's not true, because in my mind, Lilith is a woman, so how could that be? So, too many different little things to break that all down. But let's listen to this real quick about Noah. Verse 9. No, verse 10. And these are the generations of Noah. And Noah was just a man, being perfect in his generation. Being perfect in his generation. Hold on, let me stress that. Being perfect in his generation. Noah was a vegan, vegetarian man. Believes that. Doesn't mean that he didn't blood mix with the people that were already on the planet. So I guess the Most High only made the planet for two people to ever live here. And there weren't nothing else. When I read Genesis to y'all, I read it as if I'm trying to tell you guys, the Most High created a groups of people, men and women, male and female. It doesn't say man and woman, male and female. He created groups of them. They made it. They were given a mandate by the Most High God. Then these things that are the us come down and change and do things to them that they're not supposed to do by mating with them. There is a difference between the expulsion and the fall. And I'm going to look up the clinical definition between the words because I need you to understand. So, here we go right now. Fall.
Fall, move downward, typically rapidly and freely without control, from the higher to a lower level.
That's what Google said. Hold on one moment. And now we're gonna go. What's the other word? No, stop. Expel.
Expel, deprive someone of membership of or involvement in a school or other organization.
And then it says to force someone out, to leave a place, especially a country, banish, exile, deport, evict, expatriate, drive out, throw out, throw out. Google might try to G-check me for this video because I used a little video, her little voice just then. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my point. That's the point, right there. They're different. They're different. They're different. The fall of the angels, okay, and the expulsion of the angels are different. And I've been trying to say this for I don't know how long, but I can't even produce those kinds of ideas because no one's receptive to the things that I'm trying to say. That, like, I know they seem extreme, but you got to take it for what it's worth. I'm up at 5:20 a.m. trying to tell you something that I think could help all of us look at our lives differently. How do you think there's still people of the Hamitic ilk, of the Japhetic ilk, who still look like us? Because Noah's children were triplets. Yes. Get it right. These Aborigine people who you can find on a lot of these islands out throughout the world who do not look like us. Their hair is not coarse like us. They look like totally different people. These people are known to have the oldest genetics on the planet. I would argue they were the first genetic tainted project of the fallen ones. Yep, that's what I would say. You got people right now here in America who are blood mixed in with these people. Who, I mean, the best way I could put it is like, look at my hair, right? Just really look at my hair, y'all. Really look at it. And then think about a dude like Zeke Elliott, where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's a brother, but really think about how his hair looks, how naturally more curly it is, how not tight together it is. Like, come on, man, that's not a gel or whatever. That's how his hair naturally is. So I think people need to really look at the situation for more than what it is, outside of how they feel. Your feelings are not important. My feelings are not important. Forget how you feel. You understand? Forget how you feel. I have a question. If it says Noah begot 3 sons, Sem, Ham, Japheth, right? But the earth was corrupted before God. Hold on, and it doesn't say they were birthed in different, different times, different day. It says these dudes were born. Now understand, I'm telling you, the reason why it's Sem, Ham, Japheth is because Sem is the overall important character of this book, of this prophecy. This is Sem's prophecy. This isn't Ham's or Japheth's prophecy. So in that order of importance of characters, who they live with, who they commingle with, and all that, the compatriots, their enemies, all these things. So this is the order of that. And the Gentiles being associated through Japheth are still last, because the Japhethites that are mentioned throughout Scripture are not people who actually affect the Semites in great magnitude until much later on. Right. Thank you. And these are Japhethites who have already been genetically mutated. So, man, I want y'all to ask yourself something. Really ask yourself this. How is there an empire where the Roman Empire, as it was fallen, right, so-called fallen, goes and migrates itself somewhere else and then lives for like another 1,000 years with another people? They're the same. They're all the same ilk, and they're of the same ilk. It would be like So like, yeah, Nubians and Egyptians and all that, they're different. That's a Cushite, you feel me? You know what I mean? And they come from Kush or Kush, and the Egyptians, come from Mizraim. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that they come from the same man who was Ham or Kam or Kaf. That is the importance. You see? So their ability to commingle is far greater. So what I'm saying is that Japhet's people did not commingle with the people of Kam, more so Sim directly for a long time, because these people were at direct war with these people because they didn't know who the fuck they were. Excuse my language. So you have a people who have incepted their way into so many different bloodlines, you know, and different types of people. And I told y'all they come from a consortium of things. They come from animals and things like that. And the bimixture, trimixture, multi-mixture of all the different kinds of things that you could think of to make a person. Y'all have to really understand that there is nothing that they could have done that is different. But the one question I would ask you, if there was no new thing under the sun, why is circumcision never mentioned in the Bible ever before until Abraham? Right. Why is circumcision so different from other nations that don't practice circumcision? Right. I couldn't find that second one. I'll look it up. Maybe. I don't care. I'm here to do this. This is all I'm here to do is just to break this down because everybody wants to say whatever and they don't want to say the truth. Here's the truth. In 9 days, going on 2 years since I've been out here pumping out videos. Right? Yep. 2 years. And some of my older work, much more raw. I feel like a lot more, I don't know how to put it, but it was like really, in your face. I felt like, because I would just like read right out the Bible. And I didn't, and I was just getting familiar again with the word and, being at this level of familiarity now and having regained my consciousness, so to speak, in my right mind, to read the word and then I overwhelm myself with it to say, you know what, I don't understand everything that I read every time I read it. Maybe I need to read it 8 times back to back. These are the kind of things that I do, and I'm just giving you pieces of me so that way you understand. Like, don't think that I don't. I struggle all the time with this. I can't stress it enough. One of the most wicked dudes ever has he has some of the most important things to say. Wicked dude named King Solomon, who did his dirt elsewhere. So how would you know that he was doing dirt? He's doing it under an alias. I'm just saying, man, like y'all gotta really like know how to. There's no real day in the life for none of these people. Tell me about one day that King David had, like an actual day, like every event in it, and then you can tell me something. But you can't tell me nothing, man. So, can't nobody tell me nothing, and I can't tell you nothing because it's not there. All I can tell you is right here. That's it. You know, people trying to force things on you, force feed it to you. I ain't trying to force feed you nothing, people. I'm not trying to force feed to you that you're an Aborigine Black American. No, no, I would never try to force feed that to you. I would never try to force feed to you that that there's a better day coming, and that if you band together, we'll be better off. I'll never try to force feed to you that marrying outside of your race is going to be the answer to your problems. Other races have the same moral issues that people of our ilk have. So what makes you think that you won't suffer the same type of loss? Only now it's different. Only it's with another. So why not suffer that loss with your own people? It's just one of those things where I I don't understand. You know, um, uh, these guys out here. I guess if we just all stop procreating, all just stop having babies, fuck it. We just kill off our whole race of people and just do ourselves out. Then the white man ain't got to kill us. Or just go breed ourselves out with other people, and then we won't be around no more anyway. However y'all want to do it, whichever way y'all want to do it, let's get it. Right. I just want y'all to know how abominable you sound most of the time when you start talking. And if you was in my presence, I would fuck your world up. I really would. But I can't do nothing because I'm just right here. See what I'm saying? You got me talking all kinds of nonsense, and I know people are watching this with their children. So excuse the language this time, but this is just me talking while I'm in the Word because and people are, how could you do that? Because I'm unclean sometimes, or unclean lips to say the least. People have the nerve to advocate that you're for the Most High, and then go tell people to go do things that washed us up here right now while we're here now is what you're telling them to go do. You know what's funny? The Aborigines here got smashed on so freaking hard, right? That the people now will try to act as if the white man only just stole the land. Do people want to hear the real story? Look, when the white dude got here, they were beefing with other tribes and other clans. So when they helped the white guys out, the white guys were giving them guns. They started killing each other. Only until they recognized that the white dude was here for something totally different did they try to get the. It was too late by then. Nobody wants to hear that. You see? So I'm laughing. I'm laughing. I'm like, tell the truth and shame the devil if y'all believe in any of that. Because they don't have to write that down in the history. Because they wiped those dudes out. All those traitors, yeah, you betrayed your people just to get shot up the same way. Come on, man. Hey, my people got brought here on boats by force. They ride boats right now through the Atlantic. Right now to this day, they're riding boats through there. So whatever discrepancies, and if people believe that at a time that they had really mastered a true maritime naval travel a long time ago, why wouldn't these people be able to travel anywhere in the world at any time? Given that they had the right crew, given that they had the right understanding. And man, the ancestors were extremely intelligent people. The ancestors of many different ilks, of many different people. And for different reasons, they're intelligent. You see, you're making me carry on like this because I have to cover all these things. When I say you, I say that not figuratively, I say that directly to those who have opposed just by not reading themselves. Because if I say Genesis, this chapter, this verse, go there and read it yourself. As my brother Ben Judah would say, read it yourself. And Andre Wickham, I'm gonna get to Isaiah 34. I'm on it. I've looked at it, I read it, but I really want to get into it. You know what I'm saying? He's the reason I did the Isaiah 19. I want to say the my people. You know, and with that said, there's just too many different little things that I have to focus on to really stress to you that like it's like this lines up not just with history, but with whatever you want to call science and all these other things. But you have to have the mind to step back and to look and say, okay, this isn't just what I want it to be. It's more than that. Are you going to accept the truth about your people if I tell you the truth about your people? It's written right here within this book. I got nothing to take from nobody. Ain't no swagger jacker, nothing. Nothing. I need nothing from nobody but just the time to watch it. My 5 minutes was up 25 minutes ago. This ain't no ramble. This is This is a overview of the situation so far. No soul having mofos came up from Middle Earth after they had already been given partition souls by these things that did not come from Earth. Pangea was the continent before the flood and after the flood, only until the Tower of Confusion was made and created in that city that there in which the creator of all things said, "Oh, well, I guess I can't let them all be together." After this time, caverns and tunnels and things that were barricaded and blocked then became opened up and allowed creatures and species that had been warring with each other and procreating within the middle confines of the earth to release themselves. And of course, because there's a power struggle, those who are in charge tell those who can go first, and they release them as they release them because they understand the nature of each thing as it is released. So some of these things are, yes, surely horse human, bird human, whatever you can think of. And not even human. They just look like they're humans because they've been crossed in between all these different creatures so many different times. And now there's clans of them who play with me. I don't have time to go all in on all this because nobody believes it anyway until it happens. So, like 2 years ago when I was like, yeah, people don't have souls, or at least not regular ones. Right. And I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying that this is how it happened. So it's like I'm just not sure about sharing anything else that's like on that level, you know. Noah's sons being triplets was like, I don't know how many times I read that and just didn't never hit me. Never, straight up. It hit me. It should have, but it didn't. But it did though. And when it did, I wanted to share that with y'all. It doesn't talk about Noah's wife. So nobody's in a position to even try to say anything. The things it says about his wife, it doesn't even speak on her. Nothing. Let's be real. Simham Japhet's wife doesn't even speak on. This is like a real movie. Like the people who took this, they broke it down like a screenplay, almost, so to speak. So that way everything is so vague that like it builds itself up. But if you're reading it and you truly do understand a little bit of what you're seeing, even if it's just half of 1%, that half of 1% to everybody else is nothing, is a whole bunch. 10th of 1% is a whole lot compared to whatever is more than nothing is a whole lot more than nothing. So, I'm not saying that I'm seeing anything better than anybody else. I'm not saying that I'm perceiving this better than anybody else. All I'm saying is, look, man, it's right here. It said that. Paul will be getting talked about, but in depth. And I'm waiting to get this other little laptop situation figured out so I can really try to go in and do the MacBook thing, and try to produce some works there and then try to put them on this other website. I'm slowly making this transition. Slowly, ever so slowly gonna make this transition, So hopefully within this next year or so, I have that up and running righteously. And even if it's only 5 or 10 people who are there, I'll upload stuff to them every week, a few times a week if I have to, just so that way they got all the information, all the work. But I'm gonna do this the right way, which is taking my time, which is the same way I've been doing it. I have nothing else. If you have nothing else for me, I have nothing else for you. It has been an honor who have divulged all of this. May the Most High God of everything give us all that we deserve in every spectrum and realm. And may He have mercy on those that ask for mercy. And may He crush the wicked. Amen.